want to welcome everybody to what's possibly not going to be a Goblin Grenade podcast episode. This is going on YouTube. This is a little bit too much for it, and it's a timed thing. Like, it just dropped today, and by the time with my release order on ExtremeTVOnline.com happens, everybody will forget. Speaking of which, a few things. You can catch me on ExtremeTVOnline.com. It's going to be down below. Link in the description, all that other junk. That's what I've been doing with my life. If you've been wondering where I've been, it's been so long since I've actually posted something and whatnot. Commentator for independent wrestling in the Carolinas. Main promotion I work for is Extreme World Wrestling, and been doing a lot of things with them. The podcasts and whatnot, and future gameplay videos, those are going up on not only ExtremeTVOnline.com, but they're also going up on their YouTube channel, which is going to be in the description down below as well. And it's going to be me drafting, on the YouTube channel for Extreme TV for XWW. That being said, this is a little different because it's time-based, and it's about what dropped on October 4th besides Overwatch 2. The 30th anniversary weekly MTG. And it's going to be a lot of editing here because it's YouTube. I'm calling this the 30th anniversary weekly MTG. And we're going to get some things off our chest here, ladies and gentlemen. But first, the promos that they first dropped some heat. They dropped some fire. Promo Tarmogoyf in the Lord of the Rings set for stores to pass out. That is gigantically huge, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, Promo Goyf making its way, folks, in FNMs, I guess, of that type. And then for Winds of Eldraine, each set's going to have 3 to 4, but I just marked some of the cool ones down for me. Wilds of Eldraine is Goblin Rabblemaster promo, which is going to be amazing for me to get a 4 of. Lost Caverns of Ixalan, Beast Whisperer, and the Dramatic Reversal were pretty cool. And then the set after that, they haven't announced the name of it yet. It is codenamed Polo. So it's probably going to be some pirate-themed type of stuff. Because, Marco Polo, they're very cheeky with their code names. It ties into something at least, and I'm going to guess it's going to be, pirate-themed or water-based, because Marco Polo and it's Wizards of the Coast and Papa Hasbro, and they're not bright anymore. We'll get to that part. But those promos is Dovin's Veto the Blackthorn, Deadly Dispute, and then a 4th card they haven't even made yet. They haven't decided what the last slot for the 30th anniversary promos are going to be. So that was interesting. Then Path to the Pro Tour promos. Okay, I'm not interested in those, even though Thing in the Ice is getting reprinted. I'm never going to hit that level. Then the Brothers War, the Urza and they revealed the Urza and Mishra's. They revealed Urza's meld a couple days ago. They revealed Mishra's meld, which was amazing, but then they dropped that a 3rd meld card is going to be part of the set, so at least all 5 colors get represented in the meld mechanic. So there's going to be there's going to be green, at least a green one that's going to have meld. Then they dropped Dominaria Remastered, which I've kind of been waiting for them to say what is Dominaria Remastered. It is a standalone set with cards basically from Dominaria, all throughout Dominaria's history. So they're pulling from all these cards from all these different sets. Because remember, folks, for like the first 10 or so years of Magic the Gathering's existence, the only plane we knew of was Dominaria. So they have a lot of sets to draw back from. So that's going to be pretty awesome. But that doesn't drop till next year, early next year. And it is a draftable format, so your boy's going to be doing some of that stuff. Promo release Counterspell, which was amazing looking. It's an OG Mark Pohl art Counterspell. I want it now. They also revealed Jester's Cap, Time Stretch, Retro Tatiova frame from Dominaria 2018, Sneak Attack, and a Sword of Plowshares. So far, so good. They are dropping absolute heat here. And then they even had some arena news, too, which they usually don't do most of the time. But Shadows over Innistrad's getting a remastered. Now, you may say, why? Well, the whole goal for the new format of Explorer is to become Pioneer. But it's going to take a long time for them to get there. So they're releasing remastered sets, which is basically just a fire in those sets that are getting played in Pioneer. And, some other stuff to make it a draftable format. But, that's awesome. I like seeing the remaster sets like this because Explorer is going to be moving forward, I feel, the best format, especially when it gets as close to Pioneer as possible. Because Wizards is pushing Pioneer to the point that they've already killed Modern. Fight me on these words. It's a hill I will die on, because when they announced the return to in-store play and the return to Pro Tour play, what was the first formats they said was going to be supported? Pioneer. I'm not wrong. Wizards is killing Modern because Pioneer is so much better in their opinion. And Hasbro is just the greed tree, and we're going to get there as well. Either way, that's going to come out next year, first half of next year, the Shadows over Innistrad Remastered. And then Explorer Anthologies 2 is going to come out later this year. And then they announced Unfinity again. Yay, Unfinity. I'm not stoked for it. I'm just going to buy the full art lands. Buy singles. I'm not even. I might draft this set once, but that's a big might, because I'm not pleased with the set. And you can catch that rant on ExtremeTVOnline.com, $4.99 a month. Then the Secret Lair 30th Anniversary Edition, they announced that they said 7 cards, and that's the only 7 cards that will be in the main promotional material. If you want to scroll down that post further, you can find out what the other 23 are. But the ones they revealed was Necropotence, Birthing Pod, Chrome Mox, Elsbeth Sun Champion, an OG frame, and OG style. What that means is it's a Planeswalker card, but it doesn't have the loyalty and whatnot. It is literally like Jaya Ballard's first card, the Fire Mage and whatever, when they were trying to figure out how to make Planeswalkers, but it's worded like that. Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh, and Shark Typhoon, all in various different styles of art. That's the website's going to go up from what they said October 24th. It's going on sale November 1st for $149.99. That's a little bit, especially if I don't want to know, if I want to have that surprise like they alluded to and find out what the other 23 cards are, because you'd be damned if I'm going to say that's the 7 cards and the other 23 are basic lands. I will kind of be mad at that, even though I know they won't do it. But then again, they just might, because they've gone crazy, folks, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. But each one of those cards individually has a 30% chance when it gets delivered to you by around December 1st to be a foil. Not the whole thing is going to be a 30% chance to be foiled, but each of those 30 cards individually has a 30% chance to be a foil. So you should, in theory, be able to at least score 8 to 12 foils on this set, on that box. And yeah, that's the pleasantries out of the way. If you've made it to this part of the video, okay, cool. You can click off now if you don't want to hear me rant for the next few minutes about the bull that's about to drop. I got to get ready for this, folks. Let me clear my throat. Hope you don't mind, but I think you do. Because we're going to be hearing a lot of Mario jumping and collecting coins, because for the love of... what the hell were they thinking with the 30th Anniversary Edition packs? This is 100% greed. Greed Monster has been completed. Wizards of the Coast has been completed for Phyrexian style by Hasbro, because this is weapons grades amounts of on already a stacked schedule. Case in point, this is just what's released set-wise and a few other things this year into the end of the year. In January, we had Innistrad Double Feature, which was a remaster of Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt with additional artwork. Then, the same day, Commander Collection Black dropped. Then in February, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty dropped. In April, the Challenger decks dropped. In end of April, Straits of New Capenna dropped. Then in June, Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, which at the time I thought was the single biggest disappointing set Wizards has released in the last decade. But no, they said hold my beer. Not for the next set though, because that was the absolute brilliant set they came out with. Double Masters 2022, then following month, July 8th came out. Then Dominaria United came out in September, and that was awesome. Unfinity is the set that I'm saying hold my beer for being the worst set they released this year. Because on the same day of October 7th, which is this coming Friday, Universes Beyond Warhammer 40k Commander decks come out. The Brothers War comes out November 18th, and then Jumpstart 2022 December 2nd, because that is also going to be in a three-way tie for the worst sets that Wizards of the Coast has released this decade. That is just the main sets. That is not any of the ancillary products that come with it. That's not the 2 to 4 commander decks per main set that have come out. I think they've come out, dropped 15 to 20 different commander decks by the end of this year. What? They know where their bread's buttered, and as a corporation, they're going for that cheddar. But honest to God, I thought they couldn't get any more greedier, and then they did this. If you don't know what the 30th anniversary edition packs are going to be, I wrote a bunch of the people who did this. They are reprinting a lot of reserved list. If you don't know what the reserved list is, 25, 30 years ago, a bunch of neckbeards got mad that Chronicles got printed and said, my card value's going out the window. I'm crying like a little that I am. Well, who's never actually another human being before, we're going to appease you because that's all we wanted to do. And we're going to create this called the reserved list. So we're never going to reprint these 200 or so cards ever again, and a lot of them are the Power 9 and the OG duels and a whole bunch of other stuff that needs to be reprinted for Commander players. So Wizards of the Coast accidentally unlocked how to get past the reserve list by basically making packs called 30th Anniversary Edition, which is reprinting all these Power 9s and all the OG duels and whatnot that have needed to be reprinted for decades at this point. And they have a different back, so they're not tournament legal. You cannot go to a legacy event with these cards and submit them into your deck. They are not legal at all. Some play groups in Commander will not let you play with these because all these are Wizards of the Coast sponsored proxies. And that is it. They are worth nothing except for the cardboard and the ink that were printed on them, because you cannot use these outside of your friends or outside of play groups in Commander that are cool with proxies. You can't even use these in CDEH because, once again, that is competitive Elder Hider, Dragon Highlander, and for CDEH official Wizard sponsored events like an FNM or a Pro Tour, you cannot use these cards. You can buy a box of these cards, which is 4 packs of 15 cards, for $1,000. What? $1,000 to buy 90 randomized cards in total that are proxies. They're not foil. They're not special in any way, shape, or form. They're just limited because Hasbro and Wizards have fully gone insane amounts of greed on top of record profits and whatnot. We can't fix the foiling process and having Pringles, but you know what? We're going to damn sure charge you $1,000 for 4 packs of cards that you can't even use. What the are they thinking? Seriously. And now we're going to get into my angry part. My note said, every investor who buys this, anyone who buys this. If you buy this, you're the reason why we get the amount of sets and whatnot released every year. You're the reason why Double Masters 4-pack collector's boosters were going for $300 to $400. You're the reason 20 plus Commander decks come out every year. If you buy this, you are the problem in Magic right now. And why everything's so expensive. So don't come at me with like, you don't have the money, you couldn't get into it. No. These reprints have been needed for 20 years, at least 20 years. And you mean to tell me that the people that already have these cards are the only ones that can afford these cards because they can just sell one of those cards to get one of the 4-pack cases? But yet, why would they do that? And why would I even buy a 4-pack case with no guarantees for $1,000 where I could just save up? Actually, no, I can probably buy a couple of the OG duels that look like they've been shelved up somebody's at least for that price, and at least have 3 of the real cards that I can go to a tournament and play with them instead of playing with these, honest to God, that I can probably download and print on my own cardstock and actually have, you know, I could legitimately just print these on my own. That's what you're saying, Wizards of the Coast. You're letting me print these. You're making me have to print these, because I would have loved to buy this product if it wasn't. I'm not saying make these $3-4 packs. No. If you're going to find the loophole, I would be okay with a $20 pack for these 30th anniversary editions and make it a little bit more available. I would love to pay $20 a pack for this. I am not paying $1,000 for 4 packs, because that's all you can buy them in. 4-pack bundles, $250 each for cards you can't even use. Remember that, folks. You can't even use these cards, except for play groups that are cool with proxies. Everyone involved in the pricing of this product should be ashamed of themselves. But it's Hasbro, so, you know, that's the Hasbro way. Richard Garfield at this moment is rolling over in his bed, sleeping right now, groaning about how they his game up, because Richard Garfield is not dead. Nowhere near it, thank God. But he right now has to be utterly disgusted with what they've done. Because remember, when he used to talk about Magic the Gathering, he said he never envisioned a card going over $10. That was his goal. He never wanted these cards to be this expensive, or collectors or investors or finance bros getting into this. And yet now it is. And it's just a cesspool of garbage. Rosewater in the beginning, Mark Rosewater, the head design guy, Magic the Gathering, honestly, during the first part of this presentation, looked checked out. Like he didn't want to be there. Like even it looked like he was disgusted. But then he started talking and proved me wrong. So, and also, how in the can you say this shit with a straight face, you dumb? That was just as revolting that the fact that they had this, that they said this with a straight face, with no I thought it was a really late April Fool's joke with that price. And yet, there they were saying it with a straight face and trying to convince you why this is a cool product to buy, why this is an awesome product to buy, why we did this, why we did that. And it was just about as disgusting as the price itself, to be honest with you. It was revolting to me. And then, you know, local game stores are going to get one of these per store. And if you're a diamond store, you get 3. So once again, we get 2 local game stores in the because we honestly know that we can just do this direct to sell. For now on. That's where it's going. It has been alluding to. But let's go into some of the YouTube comments now, because I need to laugh my because I'm so... some of the comments on this video, which I am surprised that Wizards didn't have forethought to disable comments. $999, seriously? We're celebrating Magic's 30th anniversary by gouging the player base harder than ever. The pricing of $9.99 is disappointing because it's the celebration of 30 years of MTG, and the whales only started showing up in the last 4 and 5 years. The rest of the time, it's been 90s and early 2000s kids like myself saving money from their part-time jobs to buy these cards. 30th anniversary has to be the best unset Wizards has ever made. A grand for 4 packs of unplayable cards. Hilarious. We have strayed so far from Richard Garfield, it's disgusting. 30th year's party, only the rich kids are invited. $9.99 for non-tournament cards seems legit. I'm always cautious when Wizards of the Coast is this eager to tell us about something. But oh boy, I wasn't ready for this. You could have given us this for $20 and have a beta draft experience with your friends, and it would have been the greatest thing you can think of. Having now watched this from start to finish, the 2 30th anniversary products are complete duds. I don't know. I think the Secret Lair is actually pretty good. Wizards of the Coast should be ashamed of the price gouging they themselves are now participating in. The advert calendar isn't bad and could actually be fun, but it shouldn't be $150. I beg to differ. When you drop Necropotence as one of the rares, the exposed Necropotence is stupidly good in the format. Mark Rosewater sitting there trying to keep a smile on his face, knowing what the reaction is. That's not me commenting. That's another commenter, but, you know, I guess. Imagine spending $1,000 and opening 4 junk proxies. What a slap in the face. I would love nothing more for the destruction of the reserved list. It doesn't mean print Moxes and the Power 9. In standard sets. No. You could legitimately do something like this. 30th anniversary, even throw in the fake, you know, card back, and just do it as a draft format. It shouldn't be no more than $20 a pack for these things. The classic Magic experience, like in 1993, paying $1,000 for 4 packs of cards not made for play, just as money cards, and you can get nothing you wanted. What a joke. It's a big party for everyone. 30th anniversary is insulting, and what a way to leave a sour taste in the mouth for the 30th anniversary. On top of the cosplay grand prize debacle, Wizards of the Coast could have randomly seeded these cards in Dominaria remastered boxes and had everyone super happy, but no, they let people charge just shy of $1,000 for proxies. Well, at least Magic the Gathering related social media will be popcorn worthy now. Speaking of which, I had to go into YouTube to get this because Wizards of the Coast's official account is a joke unto itself. It doesn't do anything. It just retweets, and the last retweet was like 2 months ago. It's like they kind of knew this was gonna go down like this.
We've got the edge in this.
I honestly am shocked and stunned that this stuff has happened, but for much lighter, I needed to get this out because it's a timing-based thing on the channel, and I'm sorry if this is the first time you've heard of me being this angry, but I do actually have a normal podcast, Goblin Grenade. You can catch it on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, if I'm not mistaken, under Extreme World Wrestling podcast there. Also, ExtremeTVOnline.com, $4.99 a month. You can basically catch me as Dom Douglas calling all the action for a lot of wrestling shows, but also some podcasts as well, like Bumps and Brews, The Asylum, my podcast, Goblin Grenade, which is there now, as well the video versions anyway, and then Smash Them Out as well. But, you know, my name's Madama, also known as Dom Douglas. God, I just can't believe, you know, where we've gone, how far we've strained from Magic the Gathering, and my brain is still, like, kind of, like, whacked out about it. But, you know, may your top deck always be mythic, and as always, do good gaming, whichever catchphrase you remember me from.